Hello, this is going to be a screencast taking you through how to fill out a 1040 for Jane A. Doe. This is the one that we did together in class that I used to take you through using a W-2 for the taxpayer Jane A. Doe and how she would file her taxes using the 1040. So if you take a look here, I'm just going to open it right from Google Classroom. First, we have our W-2 here. The W-2 is the record of your earnings from the previous year. So for an example, we're going to be doing the 2018 1040. So this would be the 1040 that you would file. So this would be your earnings from 2018 that you would file in the beginning of 2019. So I'm just going to go ahead and download this file. And then also what you all are going to be doing is you're going to be completing the 1040 on paper. I'm going to have you all complete, excuse me, with you all using the PDF. So let me go ahead and open that as well. Just for ease of being able to see it on the screen as you all are doing it on paper. Alright, so a couple things to remember about this taxpayer from the information provided on her W-2, as well as the added information that we have about her. So one thing we're going to remember is that she is not married and she has no children. No one can claim her as a dependent. Her occupation is that she is a college professor. There's a phone number listed there. We also want to keep in mind that there is no third-party designee on this tax return and that you prepared it yourself. So the banking information is also provided as needed, and we will see if we need it and what we need it for. Now there's just a couple main pieces of information that we're going to be using from your W-2 today in class for the 1040. Jane Doe's information in terms of her address here, her social security number, which is provided in this box A, her wages, tips, and other compensation, which is provided in box number 1 of the W-2, and her federal income tax withheld. So let's go ahead and take a look at the 1040 and begin filling this out. Like we said, she is single. Then we're going to put her name here. The social security number was 123456789, so we're going to type that here. Okay, she does not have a spouse. This is not a joint return, so we can skip all of that information there. For here, we are going to assume that Jane A. Doe has full year health care coverage, so we're going to check mark that. There is a tax penalty that you would have to pay if you cannot show proof of full year health care coverage, and you would have to turn in what's called a 1095 to show that you have full coverage. Okay, so we're going to go down to where it says home address, and if we look at the W-2, her home address is 123 Elm Street, anywhere else, Pennsylvania. And her zip code was 23456. Okay. She has no dependents, as we talked about also, and so we can skip all of this information here. Here would be where you assign your name. I cannot exactly show you that because it will not let me type in this area the date. And then if you remember, her occupation was that she was a college professor. So then we're going to flip the page, or for me, I'm going to scroll down, and we're going to take a look at this form. So this looks way more intimidating than it is, because for us, a lot of these numbers are not going to apply to us because of Jane's situation. So we're just going to start from the top and move down. So number 1 is asking for her wages, salaries, tips, etc. And this is where you also attach your forms W-2 if you were going to be physically mailing in this form. And we see that her Wages, tips, and other compensation is $48,500. So we're going to put that as her amount that she made in 2018. We're also going to assume that she had no other income, and that's what 2A, 3A, 4A, 5A is looking for, is any additional income that she has, and she does not. So we're gonna put zeros for all of these options here. And then 6 asks us to put her total income. So that total income is still as number 1, adding line 1 plus 2B plus 3B plus 4B plus 5B, which would equal that same 48,500. Line 7 asks for her adjusted gross income. If you have no adjustments to income, enter the amount from line 6. Otherwise, subtract schedule 1, line 36 from line 6. So for us, we're just going to repeat that number here. Line 8 is the standard deduction or itemized deductions. If we look at this little box that's off to the side, we see that the standard deduction for someone that is single or marrying filing separately is $12,000. This is Jane's situation, so our standard deduction is going to be $12,000. Oh, wrong spot. Line 9 is qualified business income deduction. See instructions. We do not have this, so for us it's going to be 0. Line 10 is taxable income. It says subtract lines 8 and 9 from 7. If 0 or less, enter 0. So we're going to subtract 48,500 minus 12,000, not to be confused by the language being used. And so that would equal $36,500 for us. Number 11 would be the tax. So what we have to do now, and this is just something that we're going to have to remember, we're going to have to look up whatever is on line 10, which is the $36,500, on our tax table. So let's go over back to Google Classroom and let's grab our tax table from the post here. So this is the 2018 tax table. It's going to open up in Adobe so we can see it just a little bit better. And what this does is determines how much you should be taxed based on what your adjusted gross income is. So what we have to do, it is a 25-page document. What we basically need to do is find our 3600s, because our number that we're looking for is 36,500. Now, what this is typically you're looking for your number to be in a range between at least whatever's in this column, but less than whatever's in this column. And you see it says if line 10 taxable income is, so we know we are using that line 10 number. And then also if you are single, married, filing jointly, etc., whatever applies to you. So 36,500 happens to fall right on the range of numbers right here, and so it actually falls twice. We're going to go with the lower number because that means that's less the amount of tax that she has to pay. So the number that we're looking for is that we're going to be using is 4,187. So if we go back to our 1040, we're going to write that number down, 4,187. This is how much the federal government is saying that she has to pay in taxes based on her adjusted gross income. 11B, add any amount from Schedule 2 and check here. That does not apply to us. Let's also go ahead and write this number here so that we know what it is. Okay. Number 12A talks about child tax credit or dependents. That is not applied to us. So I'm going to put a 0 and also put a 0 on this line so we know it doesn't apply to us. Number 13 says subtract line 12 from line 11. If 0 or less, enter 0. So 12 from 11 from us would still remain at 4,187. Once again, not to be confused by the language that is being used. Number 14 says other taxes, and you're going to attach schedule 4. We have no other taxes, so number 14 is going to be another 0 for us. Number 15 is your total tax at lines 13 and 14. $4,187 plus 0 will be $4,187. Number 16, federal income tax withheld from Form W-2 and 1099. So we're going to go back to our W-2 and we're going to look at box 2, which gives us our federal income tax withheld, which is $6,835. So we're going to put that here. So what this shows is the total 35, the total amount of taxes that Jane paid in 2018. Okay. Refundable credits. We have no refundable credits, so we're going to put zeros on these spaces so that we do recognize and acknowledge that. So then for number 17, we need to make sure we put a 0 here as well. Number 18, at line 16 and 17, this is your total payments. So 6,835 plus 0 would be 6,835. And then number 19, looking for now the refund. And it says, if line 18 is more than line 15, subtract line 15 from 18. This is the amount you overpaid. Our line 18 is more than line 15. So for line 19, we know that the answer should be, after we do that math, $2,648. So this is the refund that Jane is going to be receiving. So in other words, she paid more, $2,648 more over the course of the year than the federal government said that she needed to pay. So she will be getting a refund. Okay. Number 28 is the amount of line 19 you want refunded to you. Well, we want all of our money. So $2,648 would be the total here. And then we're going to put the routing number and the check number that we have. So the routing number and the check number is here the bank account number is here. So we're going to put that on our form here. So the routing number was 164819501. We're going to have it deposited into her checking, and then her account number is 10461046103710471. Okay, and then it also gives you the option amount on line 19 you want applied to your 2019 estimated tax. We're not going to worry about that. We'll worry about 2019 filing taxes when it comes. So we're going to put 0 here. Now that we do know that we are getting a refund, we know that we do not owe. You're not going to both owe and get a refund. So just for our reference, let's go ahead and put NA there so we know that this is not something that applies to us. And that is how Jane would be filing her 2018 taxes. Now keep in mind, every time that we do this in class, this is going to be pretty much the way it works. For the most part, anytime you see a line with a 0, it's going to be a 0 anytime we do this in class together. So keep that in mind. I hope that you all found this useful and that you take advantage of this resource in helping you to understand how to file a 1040.